एक बार फिर से सभी को मेरा प्यार भरा नमस्कार। This video we will be taking up the topic of redemption of debentures. So let's start the topic. First of all, in the left hand side I have written the meaning and how to create DRR. So redemption means repayment. What we are doing here is repayment of debentures to the debenture holders. Second point says a reserve is created. How you will create reserve? So reserve is created out of the profit for redeeming the debentures, which is called debenture redemption reserve. So there is one reserve which we have to create, that is called DRR in short, and the full form is debenture redemption reserve. How you will create this debenture redemption reserve? This reserve is created out of profit. The sole purpose is the sole purpose of creating this reserve is for redeeming the debentures. That means to repay the debentures to the debenture holder. A company is required to transfer amount equal to at least 25% or 1/4 of the value of debentures to the debenture redemption reserve before the redemption of debentures. So as per the law or as per the rules mentioned in Companies Act, a company is required to maintain a value of 1/4 or 25% of the value of the debentures. That amount has to be transferred to the debenture redemption reserve. As per the rule, at least 15% of the nominal value of debentures to be redeemed during the financial year should be invested on or before 30th April of the financial year in which the redemption is to be made. The statement is very clearly mentioned here that at least 15% of the nominal value of debentures is required to be redeemed or repaid during the financial year, and that too before 30th April. So whatever the rules are given, we have to pass journal entries for each of them, which we will be discussing. All India financial institutions regulated by Reserve Bank of India and banking companies are exempted from creating DRR. That means these institutions which are being governed by Reserve Bank of India or banking companies, they are not required to create DRR. How to create DRR? That is debenture redemption reserve. It is created by maintaining or transferring an amount equal to 25% of 1/4 of the value of debentures to the debenture redemption reserve. Now, DRR in short for debenture redemption reserve is shown in the equity and liabilities part of the balance sheet under the head shareholders fund and subhead reserves and surplus. When all the debentures are redeemed, DRR account is closed by transferring the amount to general reserve. When debentures are redeemed and if there any balance remain, the remaining balance from DRR account is required to be transferred to the general reserve. So these are the 7 important points which you may note in your copy also. Then I have made a bird view of how we will be solving this topic. Like I have created 3 major portion. Here as you can see, methods of redemption of debentures, then sources of redemption of debentures, and the third is debenture redemption reserves and debenture redemption investment. So under the methods of debenture redemption, you will see there are 2 methods. On maturity in lump sum, this is the way of redeeming, and another way is by installment by draw of lots. Then the second point speaks about sources of redemption of debentures. Here you have 3 points again. Redemption, what should be the sources of redemption of debentures, from where you will be getting money for repayment. So there may be 3 possible cases: redemption out of redemption out of capital, the first one, the second is redemption out of profits, and third is a combination of these two, redemption partly out of profits and partly out of capital. Then third is debenture redemption reserve and debenture redemptions investments. Here you have got 2 points: debenture redemption reserves at 25% of total value of debentures, and debenture redemption investment at 15% of redeemable debentures. So for creating DRR and DRI, for DRR 25% of the total value of debentures, and for DRI which is 15% of the redeemable debentures, whatever the amount of debentures we have planned to repay, that total amount, of that total amount you have to calculate 15%, whereas for DRR the total value of debentures, of the total value 25%, here only the redeemable debentures. So this is the topic, and in the next video I'll be coming up with the numericals to get a good insight of this topic.